This is how to create a private race, or what I call a street race, in the Upland Racing Billboard. I'm assuming that you know what racing is in Upland and how to create a race, how to run a race, how you've been in a race. If you haven't, you may want to research that first. I'm going to skip over some of the things that I consider to be just ordinary. Racing isn't very good in Upland at the moment. I mean, the process that is being used is it's still a beta or alpha stage, so it's not exactly what I would call finished. There's a lot of user interface problems. There's a lot of user experience problems, but in the long run, it should get better. And I know it's difficult to do this kind of thing, so I'm hoping that sooner than later, but we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. I've created this app to try and help people, not only players who don't own tracks, to race with each other for an entry fee, but also track owners to help them gain some returns from people racing on their tracks. I have created a track races section on this app, but it's not visible at the moment because I'm going to change it. I've hidden it for the moment, but it will run pretty much like Street Races does now, just with one track only per track owner. So like I've said, I'm hoping that you already know what Upland Racing is, and I will go through a little bit of it, but I'm going to skip most of it. So when you create a private race in Upland, you are just before you reach the lobby stage, you are given a private code. The private code will be entered into this Upland Racing Billboard so that other people can see the race that you have just created. I have created a Discord channel or server which has channels in it, which are each car. I'll just show you that right now. As you can see, there are the races folder or container has Series 1 races, Stock Car Pro races, Series 2 races, Series 4 races, Series T races, and kart races. These are the main races that are being run right now in the Frost Series Challenge. This is the new, at this time, it's new to the seasons of Upland. And only these vehicles are qualifying for points. Each one of them contains, like Series 2 cars, for example, or vehicles. You also include the Series 2Rs and Series 2Es. So it's not just the plain vanilla Series 2 cars, it's also their variants. I'm not sure if that's the same for the Series 1 or not. They didn't really, say that it was or wasn't. I know the Series 1R car is much faster than the Series 1. But the Stock Car Pro is about the same speed as the Series 1R. So the Street Races tab is the one I'm talking about, and I intend it to be for private races only. If you want to make a public race, use the Public Races tab. If you want to make a private race, use the Street Races tab. If you are a member that has not signed up, this is what you will see. You won't be able to create a race. You'll only be able to look at the races that are upcoming and current. And you won't be able to see the private codes. I'm doing this because I want people to be dedicated to racing. I don't want just anyone showing up and say, hey, I'm going to screw this all up, and there's no, responsibility. If you have to sign in and use your own username, I'm hoping people will act a bit more responsibly. So anyways, as a user of this app, I can create a race. It'll show up I'm going to create one that's an upcoming race and show you what happens when the time arrives. So you'll see it jump from upcoming to the current tab. But this is essentially how it works. When you create a race, one thing you can do is look at the number of players who have signed into this app to see how many have a certain type of car. Let's say you have a Series 2 vehicle and you want to find out, are there any other players that are logged into this app that have Series 2 vehicles? And you can see there's 5 in total, 3 Series 2, 1 Series 2E, and 1 Series 2R. I think these are both the same person, so it's actually only, 4 players. But it looks like there are several players that have Series 2 vehicles. So it's a good bet that if you set up a race with a Series 2 vehicle, someone else might show up. And in the Frost Challenge, you actually need 3 people to race to collect points. And you have to have a minimum entry fee of 1,500 UPX. So, like I said, seeing if there are a number of people that own the vehicle you want to race with is a good idea. The tracks that you can choose from are only the tracks of players that own tracks that have logged into this app. I'm assuming that people who have actually decided to take part in this app are serious about racing, and that's why I've limited it to their tracks. As time goes by, this list should increase because there are more than just 5 people that are interested in racing in Upland. I know a lot of people have just created racetracks because either they could afford it or they just wanted a chance to earn some UPX. They didn't really care about racing, they just wanted money. These people, I'm hoping, are more interested in racing and will create events and leagues and whatever else, or give away prizes, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to start with Dante's Inferno. I'll just choose that track. The vehicle I'm going to choose is the S1. I'm choosing that because I'm the only player in the app at the moment with this vehicle. When I create the race, and again, I'm going to use 1,500 because that's the minimum requirement for the Frost Challenge. When I create this, when I push submit, the app will send out an alert, an email alert to people who own the Series 1 cars that are a member of this app. So if you are a member of this app, you set up your profile to include the cars you own. Every time someone creates a race with a Series 1 car or Series 2 or whatever it is, and you own one of those, it will send you an email letting you know that there is a race coming up for a car that you own. It's the way I was thinking would work to help people know that there are other people interested in racing, and this is the date and time that you should show up in the app. So I'm going to start with today. You could put this any distance in the future that you want to, but I'm just going to do it for today. So today's February 28th. That's 6:52 right now. So I'm going to make it, actually I'll make it 7. I'll make it 7:10 and then speed up the clock so you can see what happens. So when I press the submit button, I will actually receive an email for this, even though I'm the guy who's creating the track, because I have a Series 1 vehicle. The problem that I have found with the email type of alert is that my phone, I don't know if it's this program or my phone or my service provider or whoever, or maybe it's Google, I don't know. But sometimes it can take up to half an hour before I get the alert that there is a race that's been created. Most of the time it's fairly quick. It's like within 30 seconds. But sometimes it's 30 minutes. And so I can't really rely on the email. And that's why I've started doing the Discord thing, is because most of the time the Discord alerts come immediately. I have had some which didn't come at all, but most of the time it's immediate. So when I press the submit button, I am going to get an email that tells me that someone has created a race for the S1 vehicle. And it will tell me how much the entry fee and when the race is going to take place and on what track. At the moment, this is in the upcoming container. The current container is empty, and I can also look at the details of this race. Not that there's much more than what you can see on that main page, but it's going to show me the track, the series, the vehicle type, the entry fee, the start time, and how many car owners, how many app users have this car. It also shows me a map of the track in Upland, and I'm working on this for all the tracks. It's going to take me a while to do it. And I have also made a Google map of the same thing. There's no real point in doing the two of them, but I have to make the Google one first to be able to make the Upland one. I actually have to find out where the track is before I can find out where the track is, if that makes any sense. If I was I am the creator of this race, and if I switch to a different player, someone else who has logged in to this app, I have the ability to say that I want to join this race. If I do click this button, it will now show on the main screen in the upcoming tracks that one person is interested in this race. This lets me know that I have created a race or will be creating a race that someone is interested in. And the more people that use the app and the more people that show interest, obviously the more chance of you having a full lobby is going to be. So anyways, if go back to this, I'll switch back to me. Well, actually, you can also change your mind. Let's say you have a dentist appointment and you can't race anymore. You can change your mind and say, I'm no longer interested. So that's one option. But going back to me, I'm the guy who created the race. Oops. The 3 buttons that I have the option to click here are just to delete this race. If I have a dentist appointment, I can delete this before it starts. I'm not going to, but that's what could happen. It's now 6:56, and I started the race at 7:10. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit and show you what the next step looks like. Okay, when the timer reaches 10 minutes before the event is going to take place, it will jump from the date, to a thing which says starts in 10 minutes. From there, it'll count down to the time when the person who created the track should come along and create the race in Upland. When they create the race in Upland, they only have a certain amount of time with a private race. I found it's 10 minutes. If you try to keep the lobby open longer than 10 minutes without anyone else joining in, the game locks up and you never get to race. So I've decided 10 minutes is kind of the maximum. If you are the creator of a private race and you're sitting in the lobby and you're all by yourself for 9 minutes, start the race. Don't wait. I don't know what the problem is. I've asked Upland, and they've got a ticket set for it now, but I'm pretty sure that it's being looked at. I think it only happens with private races. I don't think it happens with public races. But if anything, the more or the sooner people join your lobby, the better. As soon as a second person joins, the countdown timer starts, and you only have 5 minutes before the race starts. And there is no way of backing out at that stage. So I've made the countdown timer 10 minutes. But anyways, I'm going to skip forward again and show you what happens when the timer reaches 0. Okay, so now we're down to 1 minute, and in a little bit it'll skip to starts in a moment. I think that's at 30 seconds. And then it says, and then it actually just jumps from upcoming to current when the time arrives. Again, this is not something that's related to Upland at all. So it's not being triggered by an event in Upland. The person who said they were going to create this race actually has to go to Upland and create the race, and then come back here and enter the private code so that everyone else will know what the private code is. And in a minute, I'm going to show you how to enter the private code. So it's starting in a moment. And there it goes. So now there are no upcoming races, and if I go to the current tab, it shows that race is now waiting for the private code. It's waiting for the person who said they were going to create the race to actually create the race, come back and paste the private code in here. And so I'm just going to make up a private code. I'm not going to actually create a race in Upland. So now I'm going to enter the private code. And like I said, when I press the submit button, it should automatically pop up a message in the Series 1 races channel on Discord. And there we go. And that was my phone letting me know that a race had just been created in the Series 1 category. So you'll see that it says a private race for Series 1 vehicles has just been set up on the Dante's Inferno track. The entry fee will be 10,000 UPX. The private code is this. So the idea is that you will know right away as soon as someone creates a race. Discord will let you know that the race exists for your vehicle. And that's why I've created these different channels, is you can mute the ones you don't have the vehicles for. So you will, I mean, if you had all the vehicles, you're going to be bombarded with messages from Discord saying there's a race for you, but maybe that's what you want. I mean, you could go in and mute them at any point in time and then unmute them later on. That's easy enough to do. But if you're in the mood for racing and you want the points, obviously this is what you want. You want to know as many times as you can that there are races that you can get involved in. Now, going back to the app, you'll see that it's now counting down from 10 minutes to 0, essentially. When it reaches 0, it's going to delete this entry. It's going to assume that the race has already started or finished or whatever the case is. As I said before, if you are in the lobby for more than 10 minutes, the private race section will lock up, from my experience. I've done quite a few tests on it, and it's always 10 minutes. So anyways, if you are not using Discord, or if you want to race on your phone, an easy way to get the private code is just through here. This little thing will show you what the private code is, and then you can just copy it, and that will make it easy for you to paste into the Upland racing game, so you can start racing. That's if you're not the track creator, the race creator. If you are the race creator, obviously you're already in the lobby. So that's pretty much it. It's a little clunkier than I would like, but I mean, it's fairly basic at the same time too. The idea is that you're giving other people the ability to see the races that you are creating, when you want to run them, and what type of car and what type of entry fee you want to use. The track isn't really that important at the moment. I mean, there are different tracks that are easier to run than others. If you get used to running one track and know where all the slow spots are, or where the skidding occurs, or those kind of things, then sure, the track makes a difference. But for most people, there's 181 tracks. It's difficult for you to learn them all. And although, like I've said, I've limited it to the list of people that are actually interested in this app. So the more people that are interested in the app, the more this list will grow. So thanks for listening. As I said, the link for the Discord group will be down below. The link for the app itself is right here. It's this little guy over here. Just scan this QR code and you should be able to download the app. If you're doing it on your phone, instead of, it will show up in the browser at first, but if you in your browser setting, there's always something called add to home screen. It depends on whether it's an Apple phone or a Android, but it's usually something like add to home screen, and that will get rid of the browser interface. It'll look just like a normal app after that. So thanks for watching, and I hope this helps.